Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Skills and Abilities. Today we're going to be going over the last one of the assassin skills, I believe. This one is the skill Mind Blast. So Mind Blast is one of those odd skills that really just doesn't have... it's a little misunderstood and it's a little misloved because of the conversion thing, but it is actually surprisingly useful in a wide variety of situations. Putting just 1 point into it at the very least is absolutely amazing, and quite honestly, really all you need for most assassins. It is governed by faster cast rate, which is a whole thing, and on top of that, it also just does a whole lot of weird stuff all at once. When you're actually out in combat and you're actually trying to stay alive, Mind Blast can certainly become unuseful, though. Say, for instance, you were running around and, you got hit by a whole bunch of monsters or whatever. Let's go ahead and pump some HP up real quick so we don't die. I always forget to do that. Alright, so let's say you're in the middle of a dangerous area. You're starting to get surrounded by monsters. That's not going to work. Let's find a more dangerous area and get surrounded by actual real monsters. Like 2 zombies? Okay. Alright, here we go. Now we got some actual monsters starting to cook around. You can start mind blasting them, and you can convert them, which is actually pretty cool. The conversion process doesn't always happen. Sometimes they're stunned. You can only convert monsters that are normal or minions. You can't convert champions, elites, etc. So, SOL with that. It doesn't always convert them, and this skill is also utilized by the... Of course, I'm in normal difficulty. Why am I in normal difficulty? It doesn't always convert the monster. It doesn't always stun the monster, and it is utilized by the minion. So if you have the Shadow Master minion, it does get utilized by the Shadow Master minion. She will basically just sit there and can use Mind Blast a lot and convert monsters. It can be really helpful, though. In a lot of situations, if you utilize it correctly and as a defensive ability, you can definitely get very nice usefulness out of the conversions. And save your life on very many occasions. The stuns are very useful. The converts are very useful. However, sometimes having the monsters being converted on a regular basis, even when you don't need them, can be just a pain in the butt. It's been my experience that, honestly, in many situations where you don't want to convert monsters, your little Shadow Master will just continually Mind Blast anyway and be a jerk about it. In general, Mind Blast's ability to, number 1, stun the monsters, number 2, convert the monsters, number 3, dish out a little bit of damage as well, and then you also have the duration, which is 6 to 10 seconds. Now, when you pump points into Mind Blast, what you get is you get basically nothing. It increases the stun length, and it also increases the conversion amount. Let me move myself out of the way here so you guys can see it. I'll move myself to the other side. There. So when you put points into Mind Blast, you get duration. No duration. No duration increases. That's just 6 to 10 seconds. The damage goes up, which is negligible at best. The stun length goes up, and the chance to convert starts to rise. Although the chance to convert starts to cap out at around like 36%. And as you can see, even at level 34, it's only at 38% chance to convert with a stun length of 8.6 seconds. In my personal opinion, is you don't need to put more than 1 point in Mind Blast pretty much ever. The damage that it does, like I said, is negligible. 218 damage. You're not even going to notice it for the most part on targets. The stun length doesn't really need to be that long, but that's the main reason why you might want to increase it. But because the fact that you are converting the monsters most of the time, it's very difficult to really sell the stun length duration, when most of the time, if you are, in a situation like this where you Mind Blast several times, you end up converting most of the monsters. It doesn't take very long before pretty much all or most of the monsters are converted, and you're looking at the stun length doesn't really even matter all that much because, well, they're normally just converted anyway. So in the rare situation where you have a monster that's not converting, I mean, the other problem is that if you stun the monster and then convert them, well, then they're less than useful because now they're not actually attacking anything or doing anything because they're converted and they're stunned at the same time, which means that you basically are converting a monster into a stunned state, which makes him just absolutely worthless in terms of, like, you know, dishing out damage or anything like that. And speaking of dishing out damage, we have to talk about that as well. So when you convert a monster, the monster is actually upgraded to your level. So depending on your character level, the monster actually goes through a process of looking. It goes, okay, what's my monster level? My monster level is level 50. What's the character level? The character level is level 60. And if you are higher level than the monster, you'll actually upgrade the monster's stats. If you're lower level than the monster will still use his existing stats. So he won't get any worse depending on your character level, but he will get better depending on your character level. So if you are higher level than the monster, you will actually increase the monster's stats and allow him to attack, you know, more voraciously than he would otherwise. That doesn't always mean anything. Like, for instance, in the case of this zombie, I'm sure the zombie's kind of a low-level zombie, but he's not exactly doing the most damage in the world, right? When they convert back, they do return back to their original level, so they don't retain the increased level that they had before when they started. On top of this, there's also other problems with conversions. So any monster that is killed by a converted monster, you don't get any EXP for. There's no EXP for, like, for instance, if these zombies were able to kill that goat man right there, I wouldn't get any EXP for the goat man because I didn't kill him, the converted monsters did. Converted monsters also don't follow you around. They just kind of do whatever they want to do. They also don't teleport with you or anything like that. So they are just kind of... They're on your side, but they don't really care that you exist. You know, they're just doing their own little thing. And I'm trying to think. There's one other thing when it comes to the converted. I don't know why I can't remember. In certain situations, it takes them out of the field of battle. That's the thing I was trying to remember. So when you're doing, like, bail runs and stuff like that, and you get into the waves, if you convert a monster, the monster is considered dead. However, when the monster turns back into a regular creature, he's then considered alive again. So you can actually use it to skip waves or to force all the waves to basically kind of like coalesce into one wave. Like if you sat there and just converted all of the monsters that came from all of the waves, which you cannot convert the champions, by the way, so you'd have to kill those. You could potentially have all of the waves essentially in the same wave by converting all the monsters as quickly as possible and then letting it switch to the next wave and then doing the same thing and repeating the process over and over again until you had all of the waves basically collapsed in on each other. It's an oddity with the conversion and the Mind Blast ability. Conversion being on the Paladin, by the way. I mean, all in all, I think Mind Blast is one of those abilities that every assassin likes to have in cases of emergencies. And it's one of those things that you just don't really use unless it's an emergency. Like if you're doing well, if you're killing fast, if you are in general, you know, just rolling through the game with expediency, right? There's no reason to use Mind Blast. It's a defensive ability. It's an ability that slows things down, causes distractions, makes little converted monsters, stuns things, and in general is really only utilized to save your life in dangerous situations, right? But if you're not in a dangerous situation, it doesn't help you. It actually hinders you. The conversion actually slows the process of killing the monsters down, and the knockback can sometimes piss off people as well. So there's just like a whole lot of silly things going on with the ability as far as when to use it. You know, when do we use it? Well, it's a panic button. That's basically what it is. It's a panic button. Whenever you are in danger, whenever you need, you need help, you call on this ability to save your life. But when you're not in danger, when you don't need help, you generally don't use it. It does have interesting uses in PvP too, because it does stun. Obviously, you can't convert a player, but you can stun them, and it's basically a way that you can just spam stuns, kind of like at the edges of the screen and stuff like that, and try and catch them off guard. I think that's pretty much it for Mind Blast, and I think that's pretty much it for the Assassin. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're just talking about Mind Blast. And as always, keep watching.